What's so great about the Line6 DL4 anyway? I mean, I've had one for years. Am I missing something? Welcome to the Guitaring Show. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're looking at the classic Line6 DL4 delay. What's so great about it? The Line6 DL4 is a multifunction delay pedal. It came out way back in 1999. It had 3 presets on it. That was just unheard of back then. So if you wanted an Echoplex style in one, if you wanted a Memory Man in the other, you could do that. It also had tap tempo. Now, tap tempo I'd never heard of until this unit came out. So with those things, the fact that it had presets, the fact that you had tap tempo, I was in. And yeah, it cost a lot of money. It cost me about 600 and something Aussie dollars back in, whenever I bought it, like early 2000s. And I bought it new. But you know, I just saw that as getting 3 separate pedals, so that was how I justified it. But look, I've held on to this pedal for years, and I reckon I've underutilized it because I've noticed this pedal is on so many players' boards still, and I'm thinking, what is it about this unit that's made it so popular and that's made it remain so popular? It's made me want to revisit it. I've had one sitting here for a long time. It used to be on my touring board, and really I just used it for a long delay, a shorter delay, and some volume swells, that kind of a thing, or some reverse delay. So yeah, I kind of had, out of the 3 presets, 2 were just your regular delays, and then the third one was I interchanged it with whatever I sort of needed at the time. What initially drew me to the DL4 was the fact that it modeled 16 vintage delay units. Some of these units weren't actual pedals. It was before pedals even existed. So you're talking about things like the Roland Space Echo or an Echoplex. So these things are large, I guess, desktop units. And you can't really take them out on the road. I mean, back then when people didn't have any other option, they did that, but they're unreliable. They're noisy, they're expensive to maintain. You just wouldn't do it these days. And when this Line6 DL4 came out in 1999, it was a game changer. And it really did pave the way for many, many delay pedals that you see today, and multifunction pedals as well. Some of the notable users have been Troy Van Leeuwen from Queens of the Stone Age, Les Claypool from Primus, Reggie Watts, comedian, beatboxer, musician extraordinaire. Mike Campbell from Tom Petty. I'm pretty sure he still has one on his board. Did I say Les Claypool from Primus? Did I mention Bill Frisell? Bill Frisell? Let's just go with Bill Frisell. Did I say Tom York from Radiohead? Andy Fairweather Low. awesome guitar player. When I was deciding to do a video on this DL4 delay unit, I was actually looking forward to having a mess around with it and find some things I hadn't discovered before in it. It had been a long time since I'd used this pedal. What I didn't realise was how much this pedal shaped a lot of the music that we hear today. Because it had so many models of classic delay units, the possibilities of sounds that you could get out of it and textures and atmospheric tones was endless. So it really did inspire creativity, and that's something that I've found with this pedal over the years. Even though I only used it for some simple delays, if I ever sat there for long enough and afforded myself the time, I would get lost for hours. Now, this happened to me this weekend. This video was meant to be shot a few days earlier, and I wasted all my time just using the looper function on the pedal. So there's something to be said for the inspiration that a pedal like this can give you. And I think that's one of the keys as to why it's remained so popular all this time. So I wanted to know more about Bill Frisell. His name had come up when I was researching this pedal as to what players are still using it. You know, who's using the DL4 that just can't live without it? It's part of their sound. So in looking up Bill Frisell, I just got lost in YouTube videos of this guy. And I want to mention in particular a concert that he did a few years ago. It was in Paris. Now I'm going to get the pronunciation wrong. Cité de la Musique in Paris. This concert is essentially a reworking of Beatles songs. They're instrumentals, the players are amazing. Bill's interpretation of the songs and his approach to the guitar and his use of not just the DL4, but I think he uses a freeze pedal as well to get some sort of drone notes ringing on. Just amazing. So I would 100% recommend you go see that. He's also, I mean, he's all over the internet. I just recommend that one in particular. It really spoke to me. And there's a Tiny Desk concert that he does, and it's just him, and that's pretty cool as well. So this concert, August 31st, 2012 at Cité de la Musique in Paris. I probably said that wrong. Look it up. The players in the band, phenomenal. We've got Greg Lyes on pedal steel. We've got Tony Scher on bass and Kenny Woolison on drums. Yeah, do yourself a favor, go check it out. Okay, so let's dive into some sounds here. Some of my favorite sounds. We won't be able to go through them all. There's just too many. But a couple of my favorite ones. First of all, multi-head delay. So this is modeled on the Roland Space Echo. Yeah, something like that. So I just love the multi-head. Brilliant. Okay, the next one is, let's do analog with mod. So this is a Memory Man kind of a thing. I think it's in this one. So the other day when I was messing around and finding some sounds and just wasting so much time, I'm so glad I had the presence of mind to actually save these sounds. Such a great delay sound. I can see why the Memory Man is such a hit with so many people. So to be able to have it in this unit was just incredible, and it still sounds great. Let's move on. Okay, this is the reverse. Yes, the reverse function. Love this. Yeah. Turn up the mix a little bit. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. Actually, there's one other sound that I want to try, and it's the auto volume or volume swell. What's it called? It is called, I can't see it. Lo-fi something, multi-sweep, rhythmic, stereo. When I was messing around with some of these sounds and just trying to work out which of the 16 delays we'd go through today, I just got lost. like lost in a good way creatively. And this leads me to why I think this is such an important pedal and why it has remained on so many boards, and that is because it inspires creativity. Plain and simple. Now, if you've got a pedal that's functional, is easy to use, if it sounds great and it inspires creativity, then hands down, that's a winner right there. It's a bit of a rabbit hole, and I just find that's probably the case with any delay pedal. But yeah, this one in particular, in my experience, it inspires creativity. So this is why I think it's remained on so many players' boards. If you've created a piece of music and a recorded piece of music that was that came out of experimenting with a pedal, then you've kind of got to use that pedal, don't you? So I think that's probably the answer there. So for me, the DL4 is a great example of an underutilized pedal. I know I've underutilized it. I used it in a very stock standard way. And so it was great just to understand it a bit better. I loved how it made me creative. It wasted a bit of my time, but I certainly was creative in that time. And, you know, it's also led me on to some other players like Bill Frisell, who I hadn't heard before. And I'm just so glad that it was through doing this video that I discovered him as well. So gear like this is just inspirational. So that is key. Weren't we going to talk about looping? Let's talk about cons first. It's a strange one for power. I think the center pin is positive instead of negative. So it's like a reverse polarity thing. It's quite power hungry. It's massive as well. It takes up a lot of real estate on your board. You can only, like, it's got 3 presets buttons on there, but you can only have 1 at a time. Normally I wouldn't care about a display on a pedal, but for this one, I wouldn't mind knowing what preset I had. There's A, B, and C. And like if I load in a Memory Man style delay in A, I can't just look at it and know that that's what's in there. Like there's nothing to tell me that that's what's loaded up. You don't know where the mix knob was at. You don't know where the tweak and the tweeze settings were. All that kind of stuff, you know. So it's just a little bit annoying, and I forget what I've programmed in these things all the time. All right, so when you're in the looper mode, the tweak and the tweeze knobs, it just sounds so weird saying tweak and tweeze, but anyway, the tweak is the modulation setting, and the tweeze is the volume, I think. Let's put the modulation up. All right, let's maybe a bit quicker. So the reason people would have had 2 of these is because when you're looping, you just get this default delay, which actually sounds really nice, but you're sort of stuck with it in loop mode. So if you wanted to get crazy with some delays and oscillation and things like that, and you want to feed it into this looper, then you'll need another delay pedal. So I reckon that's what people were doing. They're buying 2 so that they could have all their delay models that they want, and then they could loop those and layer those by using the looper. Now the looper only goes for 14 seconds. I'm trying to remember back to 1999 whether 14 seconds was amazeballs. Point is, you get 1 delay when you're in the loop function, and it sounds nice. So let's try the looping. So there's a couple of functions on the loop that I didn't go through, and that is the reverse and the half speed. So essentially, let's just do it really quickly. Get this off here. Let's go a half speed. I've never owned a Roland Space Echo. I've never owned a Memory Man. I've not owned a Maestro Echoplex. And who knows, I probably never will. I'm never really going to A/B one of those against the modeled sound in the DL4. So to me, the DL4, it sounds great and it inspires creativity. What more do you want in a pedal? It's fantastic. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. In the comments, please let me know if there's another pedal, another digital delay pedal that you think is worthy of being considered a classic pedal. Would love to hear about that. And yes, we are on Patreon. Thank you so much to our patrons. Please share this video across your socials. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Please subscribe and hit the notification button. That would be fantastic. That really does help us a lot if you hit that little bell icon. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.